Game 2 was yesterday. The Knicks protected the house, 109-93, Madison Square Garden. This time they didn't need a big comeback to win this game. But tell me what you saw in this game and what was the keys?
Man, this is the tough one for me. I'm still not ready to admit that I was wrong. I think, there's still game 3 is really the
There's
pivotal
still
moment.
time.
There's still time. There's still time on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, we saw in game 1 Cleveland come out with a style of basketball that was playoff ready, and that sense of urgency and that like ferociousness on the offensive side. I think their defense is really their inconsistency there is what killed them and allowed New York to get back into the game. And I really won't even get on James Harden's defense because it was just abysmal. It wasn't even there, and it was like almost like Olay every single time somebody touched the ball, and they talked about how they were aggressively going at him. So I think game 2, I was expecting to see a lot more of that defensive tenacity, but they kind of let me down, right? And I think New York, what they're actually showing right now is their defensive versatility. They're switching a lot of screens so that the shooters aren't getting cleaner looks. They're shrinking the driving lane so people can't get into the paint, either score up over top of their bigs or dish for, threes and whatnot that Cleveland was able to get, I think, more in game 1. And they're forcing a lot of like tougher late clock possessions. So, which means that now you've got somebody potentially playing some hero ball, going 1-on-1, or James Harden between the legs, step back three over the length. So I think that's one key that I saw New York really display. I think another key for me is Cleveland's supporting cast has been inconsistent. The role players didn't travel as well in game 2 as maybe they did game 1. So that consistent perimeter shooting that they saw wasn't there. Fewer transition opportunities, less paint touches with dribble drives. And the third thing is I think the Knicks were just way more physical and have been more physical overall in the series. It's like New York's imposing force with the bigs down low. Even Cat is getting in, and they're guarding him sometimes with smaller guys, so that he doesn't stand there and pick him apart on the offensive side with his passing and ball movement and spacing. But they kind of forgot that he's like a 7-footer at times, and so they're guarding him almost like Caruso's guarding Wemby, and he's actually getting some buckets that way. So I think those are some of the things that I've seen of the Knicks and that I haven't really seen of Cleveland that I think got us to the spot that we're in. When I think about like the game 2 and what has happened, I look at Brunson and the way that he came out, right? Like over 30 points, but it was really him facilitating, kind of like Donovan Mitchell's been doing. And he controlled the pace, he controlled it, in the late in the clock, and like he wasn't playing hero ball, shooting up tough shots. Cat, right? Big double. Bridges actually played well on the offensive side, and then I'll give it to your boy, man. Josh Hart, man. Like, where was he? Where's his offense been? I will tell you, it was in the trash. Like, old boy from Sesame Street, right? Oscar the Grouch. But,
Oscar the Grouch.
like he rejuvenated himself on the offensive side because they were letting him shoot. They were like, here, shoot this. You're trash. You can't make it. We expect other people to make it. You're not going to make it. Knock down, bang. And he was just consistently giving them big buckets to where it's like, okay, well, that game plan didn't work. So I think, it's 2-0. We're going back home in terms of Cleveland. I think this is a pivotal game. I think Cleveland actually pulls this out, but we'll get to that after your commentary, sir.